Hey everybody, it's the Mad Master here. I'm doing a video, and this one is going to be just a little bit of a rant. I'm doing this on my phone, seeing if this actually works. I was having some trouble uploading videos from my phone to YouTube for a while, and now I'm like finding out one of my webcams doesn't work, but my roommate just got super high speed internet. So this should not take 10 hours or 24 hours or whatever, hopefully. So basically, I've come to the conclusion that with regards to the virus stuff, I'm probably going to be doing only a couple more videos, maybe about 5 or 6, not a couple, but 5 or 6 more videos with regards to the virus thing. And the reasons for that is because I want to shift focus, because just like I'm so burnt out on the whole thing. I find it to be just kind of, it's just a waste of energy continually thinking about what's happening with the virus and stuff. Now, I could be called a skeptic. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I just have questions, about how everything's tabulated with the virus. As you might know, or you might see some other videos either coming soon or before this, just some things that just come out in the media that kind of piss me off with regards to it, like the birthday party with all masks and stuff. And it's not like I don't believe in masks at parties and stuff, but I'm just like, some of these Hollywood actors and stuff do this stuff. It's just like, I don't know what they're trying to prove. Are they trying to Joe Rogan, to be honest, like Joe Rogan never has his guests wear masks and they go to his studio. I guess they gotta get tested, supposedly. I don't know. But then they have these actors, like these Hollywood parties. Oh, we're wearing masks and social distancing. We're so great. Oh my God. The majority of it, if some of this stuff is true about the virus, about the surges that are happening, you're not going to stop this by what we're doing now. We have to have a better way to go after this, and more. It's just like talking about more lockdowns. It's like we've been through this already. I mean, California had a lockdown it was a really long lockdown. It was supposed to last until this month. And look, they're having cases rise, I guess, and deaths are going up again and stuff. And it's just like, when are we going to learn that maybe lockdowns are not going to be the way to get this? I don't know what a better way is. I thought of something though with regards to like bars and musical venues. It'll be a little bit controversial because it's going to sound a little like contact tracking and tracing, which some of the conspiracy crowd and some of the people that are more skeptical about the virus probably don't like this idea. But I'm going to give you an example. Let me just check this. Okay. It's filming, so I just want to make sure. I'm going to give you an example. So let's say we have a bar. I have this whole thing planned out. We have a bar. They've been closed since March, right? And there's the usual number of patrons that go to this bar. And there's musical guests and acts that play there. How about this? So we have a certain number of allotted people that are allowed in this bar, and they get a subscription to the bar. Basically, in essence, they pay a small monthly fee, and they can go to this bar. Just a certain amount of people are allowed, but they have to go to this. They pay $20 or $30 a month, and they can go to this bar. And then you have, this is going to sound bad, but like, let's say you have bands that want to play there, so you get the ban gets tested. So let's not go to that yet, but let's say the ban, let's say they want to redo, they can have these subscriptions, and then there's waivers they sign. Other places could have waivers, they could sign if you're not responsible. The club is not responsible, blah, blah, blah. I just think that locking down more bars and musical venues is just going to cause this whole thing to continue as far as the suffering that's going on with musical venues and bars. Why keep it going the way it has been? Why just lock down everything? Oh, we're going to lock down some more. Oh, we got to lock down because the cases go down. Cases go up. Oh, lock down some more. What? It's like a fucking roller coaster. And it's like, until there's herd immunity or T-cell immunity, read a lot of articles about this, that it's at a certain level, or until, we're not gonna get through this by continuing to run away from it if it continues to surge after these lockdowns. And there's got to be better ways to do this. People are not going to... In America, people are not following this shit because America is a very corrupt country. So nobody is trusting the authorities or trusting that this is that serious. Some people just don't think it's that serious. Some people think it's really serious, and they're completely alarmed in all the opposite direction when it's somewhere in the middle. But those people are at war with each other. This polarization. You're a fucking, you're a maniac, grandma killer if you don't wear a mask, or you're a paranoid New World Order following sheep Muppet puppet if you are the opposite side. It's like, there's really no way to win, really. But as I've noticed, a lot of people on the left, or whatever you want to call it, in this debate, don't follow the guidelines themselves. So who are we to judge these people that are, doing all this stuff? Here in Madison, Wisconsin, people, you drive by James Madison Park, there's a bunch of people, they don't live in each other's household, they're not wearing masks. And then you walk down the street in some more affluent neighborhood, and the whole family's wearing masks. Hey, Billy, we gotta wear masks everywhere we go. Even if there's it's not proven that kids can be super spreaders. And of course, there's all this varying data and studies that say this or say that every other day. But as my friend likes to say, willy-nilly is really the way it is, because it just goes all over the place. There's no unified front on this in America. And there's not going to be. And if they have more lockdowns, that's just going to fuck things up even more. We can't have lockdowns. We can have targeted things that we can do. So my whole thing is, I think South Korea and Sweden both have different approaches, but I don't think we should have, we should have something that's in between those two. Maybe not in between, I'd say just South Korea, but it's just people are not going to fall in line. There's these huge protests in Europe now. I think one was in the Czech Republic, maybe in Romania. I don't remember. There was in Germany they had one too. People protesting these guidelines that are going on because people are suffering from this shit. And if there's a million people that go march because of lockdown in Germany, I'm assuming that they're not all a bunch of Trump supporters. Last I checked, Trump was a U.S. president, not a German president. So they must love Trump because they're protesting lockdowns. Let's keep locks up until there's a vaccine. Bill Gates can vaccinate everybody. Oh, I love Joe Biden. Yeah, it's just fucking, it's madness, dude. It's just fucking, it just pisses me off so much. Why am I so mad at the lockdown, pro-lockdown, pro-mask, some of the pro-mask, the pro-mask thing's a little, I'm just it's not that big of a deal. Of course, I think if you require me to wear a mask in someone else's household, that's bordering on Fourth Amendment and, privacy stuff, like, that's ridiculous. That's where I draw my line, because nobody's going to... How are they going to enforce that? They're going to knock down my friend's door if, he has people over that don't wear masks when we're in the house, his friends. They're not a member of your household. You got to wear a mask and be 6 feet apart. It's like the madness. That's why people rebel against this shit. There's no unified front. It's all over the place. You don't know who to believe. You don't know. You might have known someone's like, oh, my cousin's grandfather died of the virus, but I don't know anybody personally. But I also have a sister in whatever state. She got sick for a week and she's fine. But then she has a cousin, or not a cousin, like a friend's cousin that had it bad and has like lung issues now. But it's like, but then you have other people are like, I don't know anybody that's had this virus. I get these calls at work. I don't even know if it's real. It's just to get Trump. It's just like, it's madness. It's gone insane. The world has gone insane. But America is the worst, because Bill Maher was saying, the people, the health officials aren't saying jack shit about lifestyle choices. And I'm guilty myself, I think I'm nearing, I don't know, I've lost a bunch of weight since the beginning of the year. I did lose a bunch of weight because of depression, other stuff. But, so, like, I think that I might be borderline non-obese. I know it sounds really ridiculous. I don't think my BMI is definitely not 40, which is like the risk factor for the virus. But, that's neither here nor there. It doesn't matter. I don't want to get this shit. I might have already had it. More and more things are coming out about how early this stuff was here. So that's what, I just think there's so much confusion. We're not going to get this handled with a normal, boxed in kind of, quote unquote, or pun intended, boxed in approach to this. It's not going to work because people are not following it. I went out and drove around and saw all these bars in the area, and I'm not going to give away any of the bars because I'm not going to narc on people. I refuse to do that in this. I have compassion and empathy for people going through so much bullshit with this that I'm not going to narc on any bars or any stores or anything that don't follow the guidelines, because I think that's counterproductive. If they have to, it's just like, I don't want to be that type of person. And, people are shaming people for doing different things with this, and it's just not right. The division, the polarization is not going to help combat the virus. What can we do? Like, for example, mask wearing. One of the things that Z-Dog, he's, what's his name? Dr. I remember his YouTube handle, but I don't remember his name. Zabin? Dr. Zabin, I think that's his name. And he talks about how masks might reduce viral load, which leads to less virulent infections, which may increase the T-cell immunity thing that they're talking about. If we can have a positive spin in the media about, hey, wear a mask because it might give you a lesser case and we might get to herd immunity, quote unquote, faster, instead of saying, you're just a terrible, they call them Karens, like I said in my Karen mask video. You're just a terrible Karen. Who doesn't want to wear a mask? You're part of the problem. Even though I support a presidential candidate that caused caused America to have the highest prison or helped cause the nation to have the highest prison population in the world. Oh, I'm so much better than you. I'm so much better than you. Oh, see, that shit's got to fucking stop. That shit's got to fucking stop. And I'm sick of it. I'm pissed. Like, people that are so fucking smug about the whole thing. And maybe I'm being smug by saying this, but the shamers, it's not going to help convince people. So you got to have better ways of doing these things. So with the mask thing, just have a more positive spin on it. Like, oh, we want to reduce viral load, so it's a great idea to wear a mask so we can get over this thing, blah, blah, blah. Or let's have less lockdowns, wear masks, if that's the message they want to put out there. And that, obviously, I don't believe in a household mandate of masks. That is the most ridiculous shit ever. Because that is fucking Fourth Amendment. And, it's like, you're not going to bust down. Why are we you're going to bust down people's doors? I mean, if I see, like, if they had a party of 400 people, they weren't wearing masks and all this stuff, and it was a really bad hotspot, and the cases were rising in the county, that'd be one thing. But, like, shaming people, like, I've got a call on, like, my neighbor. I saw them kissing and they weren't wearing a mask. I've seen actual fucking weddings where they're wearing masks and kissing. I'm like, oh my God. Just the madness has to stop, okay? That's just ridiculous, okay? It's ridiculous. You can take your mask off for a second to kiss the bride. For fuck's sake. Are you that fucking paranoid? Jesus Christ. That's so fucking stupid. And then there's that infamous video that's going around Twitter right now of the couple that go to the restaurant and they have, like, holes in their mask to eat through. It's some of the funniest shit ever. But, like, this madness. So, yeah, I come from the more skeptical side. I'm sorry. I went through 9/11, the weapons of mass destruction, all these experts saying all this stuff and telling us to do all this stuff. And I'm skeptical. I am. I'm skeptical. I'm not skeptical that people haven't died or something, or, of the fact that people have died. I'm not skeptical of that. I'm not skeptical that it's dangerous for a lot of people, even younger people sometimes. A certain amount of young people have bad effects, which, do we have to have young people suffer for the way smaller number of younger people that die from this, that when the flu actually is closer to killing more people? As far as I know, last I checked, the flu does kill more people under the age of 45 or 50 than this virus. It does. Last I checked. I could be wrong, And then the way they count deaths anyways, it's suspicious, because they didn't used to count deaths like that with, like, previous pandemics and stuff, like I've said in my other videos. So the madness has to end. This madness. It's just like, and it's so, I mean, if they're just not going to, if Trump gives, like, a presidential federal lockdown order for a month, I mean, I think it's ridiculous to do that, but they can't just keep pumping money out and doing all this stuff without some deleterious long-term effects to the economy and stuff. It's just not going to work. We have to have a better way. So I think testing and, testing and tracking and tracing, and having bars have subscription services, like you could subscribe to the bar, you can be tracked and traced a lot easier that way. Sign a waiver that, let people have their fucking freedom to, like, go out and mingle with people, even if it's the same people, because they all subscribe to the bar for 6 months or whatever, however long longer it takes. Whatever. We got it. Save the small music venues too. Maybe we can have house bands play every night for 6 months. Have this house band made up of some of these great musicians, and they get tested once a week. And I don't know, they get tested once a week for the virus. They play on stage once a week. Done. Instead of all this fucking closing shit down all the time, and then other places opening up, closing, opening up, closing, opening up, closing. It's like a fucking roller coaster of hell. It's so stupid. It's like, well, we've got to close again, I guess. It's just like, it's so pissed off about it. And then it's just like they're so fucking hoity-toity about it. And this is the other thing about the lockdowns. I was going to do a video called the left-wing argument against lockdowns. I guess I'm going to put this in this video anyways, because these lockdowns have been a boon to neoliberal economics and corporations. Neoliberalism, you can look it up. It's a type of economics that are, it's this modern, like, big corporations, globalization, not globalists, but, I mean, they're both similar words that kind of are the same thing. Globalization, quote unquote, is the left-wing term for the same thing that globalism is for, but that has all sorts of more conspiracies and conspiracy theories. So this has been a boon to Amazon, to all these big corporations. And I know the supply chains are better with those big corporations, but still, it's like, why didn't we bail out small business way better than this? Instead of giving people $1,200 checks or whatever, or $600 a month or week or whatever unemployment, why not help the small businesses in a better way? Why not have the trillions of dollars they could have gone to track and trace and testing way more, and then do targeted lockdowns, maybe a block for a couple, block is locked down for a week, or half a city, instead of fucking states and cities, all these businesses. And it's just fucking nonsense. It's not gonna fucking work. It's not working. Obviously it's not working according to the statistics, unless I shouldn't believe the statistics. Maybe I shouldn't, because it's so fucking ridiculous. And to have more lockdowns, it would be madness, I think, to have any more lockdowns. I'm against more lockdowns on a scale that is bigger than a couple of blocks or bars in a certain area or certain cities or whatever. Even that, like I said, I think we have innovative ways. We do a lot of shit. We have a lot of fucking money. If we could throw trillions of dollars at a problem and do it in this way that's just fucking ridiculous, we can do it in a better way. If they're going to do another $1 trillion bailout, why don't they bail out the small businesses instead of loans? The former mayor of Madison had this thing. I looked at he had a blog post from, I think it was from March or April, but he's like, instead of bailing out these big corporations, and then there's people refusing help in this town, because I don't even want to go into that in this video, but are refusing to help from the government for bailing out mom and pop shops, which is absolutely ridiculous. It seems like, when people talk about an agenda, the reason why people think there's an agenda is because you have partially astroturfed or co-opted protests, Black Lives Matter and all this stuff. I'm not saying Black Lives Matter didn't start out as an organic grassroots movement, but now it's becoming like Occupy was at the end, where it was these fucking neoliberal corporate Democrats that are taking it over. Mitt fucking Romney, come on. The guy's personally responsible with his companies like Bain Capital for the deterioration of the poor, and with corporate, look it up. There's Matt Taibbi did an article about Mitt Romney back in 2012. You read about Bain Capital. The guy it's like fucking, it's ridiculous. So that is what, that's why I'm against the lockdowns, further lockdowns. A left wing, dare I be a left winger against lockdowns, quote unquote left winger. Oh my God, you want to kill grandma? You're not really a left winger. I see. Take the mask off. It's a real Trump supporter. It should say Make America Great Again. You're really a Trump supporter. Fuck no, I'm not a fucking Trump supporter. So fucking calm your fucking ass. So I believe in fucking freedom, but I also believe in the fucking the poor and the working class, and the fucking mom and pop stores need to survive. We can't just have Walmart open all the time. The big bunch of people going in there, masks or no masks, it's still a bunch of people, and it's just so fucking ridiculous. Oh, you can't have fucking, there's these memes going around. You can, nobody's allowed in church, but they can go to Walmart. People see this stuff and it doesn't make sense. Explain it in a better way and it will make sense to people. But you're not explaining it right. You're saying, you're just shaming them. You're just fucking tearing them down. It's fucking ridiculous. It needs to stop. This needs to fucking stop. And Z-Dog has done some videos about this shaming thing. I don't agree with him about everything with the virus, but it's like we're at this precipice of, people are going to throw away these politicians. These neoliberal corporate Democrats are already on their last legs. I'm not saying the progressives are much better at all, because some of them are kind of sold out and stuff. So, but they are less hypocritical than these people. AOC or something would not necessarily support bailouts only for Walmart. I'm sure she, some of these people, I'm not saying her specific, I haven't read everything they've said recently, but like, I'm sure they're not like totally gun-ho about the corporate bailouts and letting small businesses die. I'm sure they're not gun-ho about that, for sure. So that's the whole thing with the lockdowns. No more lockdowns. We got to do something different. It's obvious we have to do something different. If it's a fucking roller coaster ride with a virus, we're doing something wrong. Something's not right. And you can't have lockdowns if what's the point is what I'm saying. What's the point in opening up in the first place if you're going to have to lock down again a month later? Then don't fucking do lockdowns. Do something else. Track and trace tests. The trillions of dollars could go into drive-through fucking test centers on every corner. Okay? South Korea did a fucking killer job. I know South Korea is way smaller than America, but we could do something different here. Or we could do something similar here with $1 trillion that we spend on all this bullshit, like fucking bombing people in other countries for fucking oil or whatever, or minerals for cell phones, which, I'm a hypocrite because I'm on a phone right now, but, it's like, you do all this shit, but, you can't tell people to go out. And then another thing, the protests, it's like, don't go out in big crowds. Even Fauci said that. And then all these governors are like going out in the big crowds with the protesters and these mayors. It's like, that's what I mean by astroturfed and co-opted, because these people they're not going to fucking reform police, a lot of them. The progressives might, but, the Newsom and Garcetti and all these fucking jackasses are not, but Mitt Romney takes the cake. I hate that shit. But anyways, that's all for this video. I'm pissed off. We need to have a protest against lockdowns like Germany just did if it happens again. Because it's just not going to work for society to have these huge lockdowns. We can have a different fucking approach. That's all.